Hi, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the male reproductive system. And when we look at the male reproductive system, we have to remember what's being accomplished. So let's start by talking about, do humans have internal fertilization or external fertilization? Do we have internal development, external development? Which is it, right? So if we think about that, remember that humans, like mammals, all mammals, have internal fertilization. The sperm and the egg fuse inside the woman's body. And we have internal development, mitosis and differentiation that makes a zygote become an embryo and a fetus, happens inside the woman's body. Internal fertilization, internal development. So the structures of the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system have to be designed to make sure that the sperm can get delivered to the egg inside the woman's body, and that the woman's body is designed to take care of and house a baby for 9 months. So we're going to start by talking about the male reproductive system, and we're going to talk about the two basic jobs he's got to do. Men have two jobs: make sperm, deliver sperm. That's pretty much it. Women, have to make eggs. They have to deliver the eggs to a place where the sperm and the eggs can meet, and then they have to house and feed and care for and protect a baby for 9 months. So women have a lot more to accomplish. But men really have to make sperm, deliver sperm. So let's talk about the making sperm. Where does that happen? That's going to happen in the testes. And if we take a look there, we see that we have the testes. Now the testes are making sperm. What process makes sperm? Keeping in mind that the sperm and the egg have to fuse. Keeping in mind that therefore the sperm have to be monoploid. Meiosis. Meiosis makes sperm, which are monoploid, have half the chromosome number, so that when they fuse with an egg, they restore the chromosome number. Okay, so the sperm are made in the testes. Now, men do not release sperm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it needs to be stored, and it's stored in the epididymis. The epididymis is a coiled structure at the top of the testis that holds the sperm until ejaculation. And then the sperm will be released up this tube that we'll talk about in a minute, and then down this tube and out of the penis. Now, you'll notice that the testes are in this structure, number 3. In women, the ovaries are inside the body cavity, deep inside. But in men, the testes are outside the body cavity. If you take a look right here, that's the body cavity. And the testes are outside that wall. And the reason is that the testes need to be kept cooler. Sperm just do not like a warm temperature. They like it cooler. So the testes are outside the body cavity, kept in the scrotum. When the man is cold and the testes temperature drops, these muscles right in here will relax, will tighten up and bring the testes closer to the body cavity so that the testes are warmer. And when it's hot out, these muscles relax and the testes are moved further from the body cavity, and it's cooler to keep the right temperature that's just perfect for sperm development. All right, so that's the sperm are made in the testes. So what process is happening in the testes? Meiosis, spermatogenesis, the making of sperm, monoploid cells. They're stored in the epididymis, and when there's ejaculation, they'll pass up through this tube, number 4. That is the Vas Deferens. The Vas Deferens then leads all the way around. And if you take a look right here, the point of my arrow right there, that's where it leads into another tube that's inside the penis that leads out of the body. And that's the urethra. So if you look at this, the path is the testes, the epididymis, the Vas Deferens, and then the urethra and out of the body. Now, sperm, if you might recall, are not like eggs. Remember, eggs were big. Eggs had to have a lot of cytoplasm, a lot of food to support the baby until it implants in the uterus and can get food from mom. Sperm do not have a lot of cytoplasm because they do not want a lot of weight because they have a long swim. But they need energy. So they need food. And where does that food come from? That comes from 6 and 7. 6, this feathery structure right here, and 7, this structure right here. Those both add fluid and food to the liquid, the semen, so that the sperm has food available. 6 is called the seminal vesicles, and 7 is called the prostate. All right, so we've got the semen now mixed, the sperm is mixed with semen and ready to go. And we just have a couple of other structures to look at. We have 8, which is the anus, and we have 9, which is the bladder. The bladder is up here and leads down to the urethra. So the urethra can carry urine out during urination or semen out during ejaculation. Finally, we have structure number 10. That's the penis. When the regents asks the function of the penis, what they're thinking about is the function of internal fertilization. That is, the penis is designed for delivering the sperm inside the woman's body. Okay, that all was the side view. This man right here is looking to our right, and we're looking from the side. The picture over on the right is the front view. He's looking at you right now, and this is looking from the front, and that gives you a better sense of the numbers of testes and the number of seminal vesicles and vas deferens. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have number 11, right? What is that? Right? Those are the testes. That's where sperm are made by meiosis. We have number 12. That's for keeping the testes outside the body so that they are cooler. That's the scrotum. We have the place where sperm are stored, the epididymis. We have the tube that the sperm travel up, the vas deferens. We have these 2 feathery things that produce fluid, and this little circle you can see in the back there that makes fluid for the sperm. That's the seminal vesicles and the prostate. And then the sperm mixed with the fluid, the semen, passes through the urethra. And we have the bladder that can deliver urine, and the penis that is designed for internal fertilization. Now, there's one thing that I want to go over before we move on, and that is a surgery that is frequently done. Men sometimes will opt to have this surgery. And if you take a look at the side view right here, so here's the scrotum and there's the testis. Sometimes there's a little incision made right there, and they cut this off and tie it off at 2 ends. They'll do that on this side, they'll cut that, and they'll do it on this side and cut that. Now, why would a man opt to have a little incision here and cut off the vas deferens on either side? Well, that means that the sperm made here cannot get out. And so if no sperm can get out, then there can be no sperm in the ejaculate, and there can be no baby, because if there's no sperm, there will not be a zygote and there will not be a baby. To get a baby, you have to have sperm plus egg. So if the sperm are trapped here and they can't get out, then you won't have fertilization and you won't have a baby. So this is a form of birth control. It's considered permanent, although often it can be reversed. But this is something that a man would do once he's decided he doesn't want to have children anymore. Now, I want to point out something interesting we haven't talked about yet. The testes don't just make sperm. The testes make a hormone. If you think back to the endocrine system, there was a hormone that we talked about that is made by the testes called testosterone. Think about how the testosterone gets to the rest of the body. Now, testosterone is the stuff that makes men have beards and deep voice and broad chest. I like to call testosterone the manly hormone. It's the hormone that makes men look like men. Now, how does that get from the testes to the rest of the body? Through the bloodstream. If a man has this cut and tied off right here, The sperm can no longer get out. But here's the question. Will the man still be manly? And the answer is yes, because the testosterone doesn't leave the body through, or doesn't get to the rest of the body through the vas deferens. It travels to the rest of the body through the bloodstream, and blood is still flowing down here and picking up the testosterone and carrying it off to the rest of the body. And so the man is going to have the same traits that he would have if he hadn't had this surgery, if he hadn't had that cut off, tied off, I should say, cut and tied off. Now, dogs frequently and cats will have the entire testis removed. That's when they're neutered. They can't have babies anymore because they can't make sperm, but they also can't make testosterone. And so that will impact their behavior and traits throughout the rest of their life because they no longer have testosterone. So that's a different surgery.